Hey, what's up, y'all? It's your player partner, Cardo Mac, chilling here in Bakersfield, California at the Bombay Dab Lounge here with Talkbox Queen, Macic Girl. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. What's up, everybody?
Yeah, so did you grow up here in Bakersfield?
Yeah, I was born and raised here in Bakersfield.
So what's it like living around here?
Normal, I guess. I don't know. Everything's normal for everybody in their own city, but it's pretty cool. I mean, like I said, I was born and raised here, but I also traveled a lot. I traveled in like a lot of the 805 area, so I was used to always being out and stuff like that as far as getting out of town. So, I mean, it was pretty fun.
What was there to do here in town?
I was kind of always like a stay-at-home girl. You know what I mean? I always liked just to be home and chill and be to myself.
Get lost in the music.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
So how'd you get started and who were some of your influences?
Well, for most of you who follow me, know that my father actually tours in the Spanish industry with his band Grupo Anhelo. They are a grupo.
What does he play?
He plays the keyboards. He plays the keys. So he's their piano player.
So that's where you got it from.
Yeah, unfortunately,
Pops.
he didn't teach me nothing, but I kind of...
Oh, man, why not?
I don't know. Maybe it was a...
Did you ask him or what was the deal?
I don't know. My father, growing up, he was always the type of man to kind of... He liked us to prove him wrong. You know what I mean? So he kind of just like, oh, whatever, no, you can do it.
You really want it? You got to show him.
It. Yeah, he was always that type of person like, yeah, you're good, but you can be better. You know what I mean? So when I finally showed him up, he loved it. I mean, who wouldn't want to see their kids follow in their footsteps, you know?
So your dad was one of your influences?
Yeah, I had my dad, and then I come from a family of musicians, actually. You know, my cousins and stuff, they cover for like Gerardo Ortiz and play in bands, and they're all drummers. I'm actually a drummer. I'm the only girl drummer in the family besides my cousin.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So I pretty much, it's been around me my whole life, you know? Like I said, you know, not only my father being... a touring musician, he was also a producer back in the day. He produced and mixed down 14 plus albums for various artists, including my grandpa, who has his own thing going on too in the Christian ministry. And but yeah, it's pretty dope. It's pretty dope to have somebody like my dad who you can watch, because it's definitely influenced into your kids, and that's what happened with me. You know?
Besides your family, who else influenced you?
I would have to say most of the lady MCs, like Lady of Rage, The Brat, those are like my favorite, you know.
That's what pumped you up.
Yeah, yeah, I kid you not. You know, Snoop and Sugar Free, those are the cats that pumped me up and made me like want to start rapping. You know, I always like doing music, but actually start rapping, I just wanted like, yeah, I want to go down there and rap too, you know, like that'd be cool. So you're
known as the Talkbox Queen, right?
Yes, that's correct.
So how'd you get that title, and what made you get into the talkbox? Because that's a pretty hard instrument to play. Like I was telling you, I tried to play it myself just for the love of the sound. So I bought myself my little talkbox and practiced for over a year, 2 years, and never got it. So it's pretty hard. I give you props on that.
Thank you. I also get complimented by a lot of other, you know, cats who play talkbox and stuff. It's been about 2 years only since I've had my talkbox, and I actually fell in love with the talkbox when I heard the song I Can Make You Dance by Zapp and Roger. You know, I was small at school and I was like, okay, what's that sound? And I always thought it was like autotune, but you know, I was like, nah, this doesn't sound like autotune. It has to be something else. So, you know, I got curious and jumped onto YouTube and saw what it was and fell in love with it. I was quick to order one, and it kind of stuck with me. It's the tool of the trade now.
Which one did you go with? Because there's so many different types of combos with the keyboard and which talkbox you can actually use. So what do you actually use?
I use, I have a Banshee. That's the actual, you know, driver that I'm using. But the Talkbox patch, that I'm using is actually a Talkbox patch that I made myself. So, you know, a lot of people get the Zapp and Roger patches. A lot of people want the MC Magic patch, you know, but now there's a Macic Girl patch that I'm fortunate to only have, you know what I mean? So maybe one day I'll release.
So that's what makes your sound a little bit different.
Yeah, correct. It was just the sound that I developed with a good friend of my father's who's also a Talkbox fanatic, and he is a really great super musician, and he took the time to actually help me and perfect the sound to what it is today, and I'm truly grateful for that. it's really cool to have other people who have experience with, music or, engineering or just in the game in general, humble themselves to help you.
What tips did they give you to play it? Or for those that don't know, explain how the Talkbox actually works.
Yeah. Well, the Talkbox is basically a sound that comes out of this tube. Like we were mentioning, there's a difference between a Talkbox and autotune. Autotune would be something that you hear, for example, with T-Pain. And a Talkbox is a sound that you hear that sounds like this.
You also produce, right?
Yes, I am.
Like, how'd you get into production?
Well, being in the music industry, I actually started producing about 3 years ago, a little over 3 years ago. I had to have emergency surgery. I was in the hospital for a month. I had a full 6-month recovery, and thankfully everything, kind of came out okay. But my recovery was so long that I was kind of going into like a depression, where I kind of didn't want to mentally get better, you know what I mean? Like, it was just so long and so exhausting. And then that's when I started looking into a beat machine, and that's when I told my dad. And my dad, obviously being the good father that he is, he saw that that was my interest, that was my way of getting better. So that's when I fell in love with music even more. It was kind of a lifesaver at that moment, because 6-month recovery, very long, and then I was dying for 3 days, so there was also that scare that I wasn't going to make it. So and there was always that fear in the back of my head that I might die tomorrow, you know what I mean? So music was kind of
your escape.
My escape. Yeah, it was a very good cure for what I had.
Yeah. So what did you actually use as far as production?
I just had my laptop in a beat machine. A drum pad.
And you're self-taught, or?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. I play by ear, so I get that trait from my family. I'm glad I got that.
Is there a certain sound you look for, or just whatever you're feeling at the time?
It's just whatever I'm feeling at the time, but, for my fans who know me, they know that I do funk and old school and stuff like that, so.
Now, besides playing the Talkbox, producing, you also rap and sing, right?
Yes, correct.
Which do you prefer from all three?
I actually prefer producing. And that's funny because...
You think it'd be the Talkbox.
Yeah. Well, actually, I like the Talkbox, but I think it's funner doing the Talkbox when I'm producing, because you can be more creative, and there's a lot of more creativity behind everything when you're producing. And that's one of the beauties of being a producer, is that you can make ideas in your head come to life. And that's pretty much what I like and enjoy about that.
So you rap and sing in Spanish too, right?
Yes, correct. And I also have a plan to release a Spanish album sometime this year for all of my fans in Mexico and stuff like that, and also here in the United States who like shopping on the Spanish market, so I'm going to throw a straight Spanish album.
So at what age did you actually learn how to compose a song?
I've always been writing since I could remember, like in junior high and stuff. I always wrote poetry. I did a lot of poetry. So when I started doing music, it kind of fell into place, because when you write rhymes, it's kind of almost like poetry, you get what I mean? So it came very easily after doing that in high school. Implementing it with my music was just very easy. So I started composing and writing a lot of songs, and I've also been ghostwriting for a lot of cats in the Chicano industry for a long time. So I've always been involved, just not heavily involved like I am now. So it's actually pretty cool to finally do my own thing.
So where have you performed throughout your lifetime?
I actually performed all down Central California.
I know I seen you at the Fresno Super Show last year, and you got down right there.
Yeah, and that was actually one of the most memorable shows, because I actually got to meet Bobby DTX and, Lighter Shade of Brown. And
rest in peace, DTX.
Yeah, rest in peace, and he's a really good guy, and really sweet man, and so is, the team. And I think it was one of the best experiences that I had to actually spend some time with him and get some positive, nothing but positive things from him. I think it was, I was talking to...
Did he give you advice, or what were the conversations about?
Yeah, we had very personal conversations. And most of the advice he gave me was just keep doing my thing. Haters are going to hate, but keep doing your thing, and that always... I always think back and look at that. I think it was just meant to be for me to...
So he recognized your talent too. You're just not just some random artist.
Yeah, and it was pretty cool for him to recognize that, being at the stature that he is, being a legend, to be recognized by a legend is absolutely amazing. It's pretty cool. It's an awesome feeling.
So who are some of the people that you've worked with in the past?
I've worked with a lot of people. I've done work for compilations that, involved Ice Cube. I also did a song with Dub C. I did an unreleased song with Snoop Dogg. And
so you're branching off. It's not just Chicano rap.
Yeah. It's pretty much just everywhere people want me, and it's kind of cool to get that little crossover, to be exposed to the other market as far as more commercial music.
More of a universal sound. You're not just stereotyping to one audience.
Correct.
So recently you just got signed to High Power, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
So how did that come into place? Did you reach out to them, or did they reach out to you?
Well, actually, Capone reached out to me a little over 2 years ago, and we've kind of always touched bases and kept in contact within those 2 years. After I moved on from the previous label, I was going kind of the route where I wasn't going to really do music anymore, and then Capone called me back up. We linked up in LA, and it wasn't even I didn't even expect to get signed. It kind of just happened, so it was...
You thought it was just
cool.
a call just to talk about music or try to work together?
Yeah, pretty much. That's all I thought that call was, and it kind of just, everything fell into place, and I ended up getting signed. And but yeah, it's mostly been communication from, from past years and past times and stuff like that. And it was actually pretty cool because the first time I actually met Capone, I opened up for him, and I don't believe he knew I was going to be there. And he actually came up to me after the show and said, "Hey, I want to work with you. We're going to work. Don't worry about it." And I was always puzzled by that for the next 2 years, because I was just like, yeah, we're going to work. That'd be cool, but man, I'm not getting a call yet. I'm not getting a call. And then when I least expected, boom, hey, welcome to the family. So
what'd you think when you got that actual call saying that he wanted to meet with you? He has such a large catalog out there, so many artists he's worked with, and now he wants to work with you. What were you thinking?
I was like, I don't even know, because like I said, he had already said that. I thought it was just going to be like a feature. Hey, we're going to feature and work together. But it was pretty cool to know that his interest. He saw greater things in me in my career, so that's pretty cool.
And then when he laid that contract out for you, what'd you think?
I didn't even know what to think. I was like, oh my God, like, really? Because
it's the real deal.
Yeah, I was just sitting there on the couch, and he was like, well, I got this typed out. I don't know if you want to read over it, take it home. You discuss it. And I didn't think twice about it, because I was like, man, if he waited this long, I might as well. And it's been the best decision that I've made so far in my career.
Yeah, I saw you on Instagram probably last year, and I was going through all your social media, and I could see your talent. I saw everything you had. Like, I think you're a legend in the making.
Thank you.
And obviously Capone saw that too. So
yeah, and it's really cool, especially to be mentored by a legend of his stature. He's the Nike of Chicano rap. Like, no one can deny that. Capone is Capone, and he's going to continue to be Capone till the end of his days. And it's pretty cool for him to reach out and sign new talent, because it gives us a chance to fill the shoes that he was once walking in. Yeah. So that's pretty dope.
Shout outs to Capone.
Shout outs.
Now, you're originally known as Miss Lady Magic, and now you're Macic Girl. How did that transition take into place?
Well, after signing with High Power, me and the High Power team kind of sat down and had a discussion about what to do next as far as my name. I know a lot of people have been waiting for a little over 2 years for that album that was never released due to unfortunate circumstances. We never got to release it. So when I signed over, I was like, you know what? Let's start fresh. Let's start new. Let's get something going before it's too late. So I always wanted to keep the magic, like I've said in the past, I want to keep the magic, but I want to start fresh. I want to do something new. I think it would be cool, and it's only fair to myself and it's fair to the fans to kind of just start off fresh.
Because for a while, you guys were kind of thinking about a new name, too, those random names thrown in there.
Yeah, there's all kinds of names like Lady Kush and all kinds of stuff. And we even reached out to the fans and stuff. And then I was like, I don't know. And then Capone texted me one day randomly and was like, Macic Girl. And I was like, okay, yeah, we'll do that.
Let's stick to that.
Let's stick to that one. Yeah. So it was pretty dope.
You recently did a music video with Capone, right?
Yes.
What was the name of that one?
It's called I'm Sorry. And
that's featuring you on the Talkbox?
Yes. Yeah, we actually did that record together shortly after signing. So he's quick to put me to work.
Immediate to business.
Immediate to business. And that's the cool thing, that I'm always busy with him and doing things that are going to positively influence and feed my career. You know what I mean? And when we did that music video, it already has over 200,000 views. We hit 100,000 in, I think, 14 days, which was pretty dope. We had a very positive response with that song. So it was pretty cool to have the first record out be a really good record.
And is that the first music video you were in?
Yes, correct.
What's in the works for the future?
Well,
as far as music videos?
Music videos, we're hopefully going to have 2 out within the next month or so. And those are going to be music videos for my album. I have a new album that I've completed that we're going to release in the next few weeks. So that way we can go ahead and get all of my stuff started, and you guys are going to actually start seeing me.
And that one's complete already?
Complete.
It has a title? Or you don't want to put that out yet?
Yeah, we have California 805, Puro Califas. That's the name of the album.
And as far as music, what are you currently working on?
I'm actually working on my second album already. So like I said, the very first album that should have been released wasn't released. So my first official album that is going to be released is going to be released with High Power. And I started that back in December. So now it's April, and I'm starting on my second album already. I just want to, go ahead and let all of that energy out while it's good, because positive energy in the studio is always good energy in the studio. So I'm hoping that, we get just as good of an album as, the first one that I'm going to release. And hopefully within the next, year, I'll have about at least 2 albums completed by December. That's the plan. So I'm just working on.
That's all you, besides compilations that you're working on?
Correct, yeah.
As far as collaborations, if somebody wants to get a hold of you in the future to work with you, is that possible, or are you just only working with High Power? Or?
No, absolutely. There is a possibility for collaborations. It's like I always tell everybody, you got the money, I got the honey. So, no, but on a serious note, yeah, if anybody's interested in collaborations, all you got to do is hit up my management, and then once it goes through them or approved, we can't always promise you things because, we stay busy, but it's definitely possible. You just got to reach out to management. You can reach out to them on any of my social media sites. It takes you directly to their links. So we can do that. Instagram would be @TheRealMacicGirl, or you can hit up, Capone. Capone would be the best one to hit up on the HPG team if I'm not able to get a hold of for my management team. But yeah, it's definitely possible.
And that's for production, Talkbox, a verse.
Yes. Yeah, I also do sell beats on the side. I make beats for other rappers and everything, stuff like that. So yeah, definitely if there's a collaboration or, you're just looking for beats, it's definitely possible.
And you got them on deck, or you go according to what they ask you for?
I have a lot on deck, but I also go according to what, they ask for.
If somebody asks you for a specific sound, you're able to do it.
Obviously, it's going to cost a little bit more for, having to spend the time on composing, but it's definitely possible. Any idea you got in your head, we can definitely work it out.
Time to go to an Instagram question. We asked some of the followers if they had a question for you, and I just picked a random one out. This one's from Marky West Coast, and he's asking, was it hard for a Latina to be accepted in the industry, being that you're coming into a talent in the footsteps of Zap, DJ AK?
The answer to that question is yes. And not only because of that specific area, but as a female, it's very hard to make your mark in an industry dominated by men. So being a female, you kind of have to stand out. And I think the Talkbox helped me with that. You know what I mean? I'm still getting accepted into,
You think that's what grasps the people's attention, the Talkbox?
Yeah, it's the Talkbox. I don't think... I can honestly tell you from a personal perspective how I feel is that if it wasn't for my Talkbox, I don't think I would be as far as I am in the industry. I think it definitely made the mark and to who I am and what I'm going to do in the future.
Because that's why I started following the Talkbox, because that's what I like.
Who does it? Everybody does it, but
it's that lowrider sound.
Yeah, it's that lowrider sound, and not only that, I think people trip out. It's like, well, wait, that's not a dude, that's a girl. Oh wow, trip out. Let me see what she does. And then they go to my page and see, oh dang, she produces too.
Yeah.
Oh shoot, she raps. Oh shoot, she sings. So it's kind of a mixture of everything that kind of helped me. But it's definitely hard. Still getting accepted, but at the end of the day, when you love music, you're gonna do what you do regardless of what people are gonna say. Either you make it or you don't make it, but if you love music, you're gonna do it.
Let's talk a little bit about cars now. I know you're a lowrider enthusiast just like me.
Yeah.
So what kind of cars are you into?
I mean, I drive a Beamer, so I like BMWs. But when it comes to lowriders, I mean, a 6.4 Impala is always my favorite. You know what I mean? I don't really have an eye for another, classic lowrider. Like I said, I'm more of a fan of luxury cars, but I definitely do love my lowriders. But it would be the 6.4 Impala and then El Camino.
Usually I interview my guests and I ask them if they have any tattoos, and they share them with us and we go over them. But it looks like you don't have any, do you?
No, I don't have any tattoos, and I'm not.
Is there a reason for that, or that's just not your thing?
No, my mom don't like it, and I kind of love my mom, so yeah, I don't want her, because my mom's very old school. Like,
you don't want to disappoint
mom.
She'll
burn it off with a plancha.
God damn.
Yeah, she's
old school.
She's old school, like, te lo quitas o te lo voy a quitar, So, I mean, I just don't want to go that route with my mom.
Yeah.
She's too sweet of a lady to be tidying myself up. I don't think she'd like it.
If you got one, what would it be?
I think it would be
something music related.
Yeah, it would have to be music related, definitely. And I don't know, I was just telling my business partner, that I wanted to get I know it sounds stupid, who would get their own name on them, but I wanted to get my name, Macic Girl, with music notes on the back of my neck, because it's something that's going to follow me for the rest of my life, So I thought that would be cool, but I don't know.
That's you right there.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we'll see later on if I feel like it, but I don't like needles, so that's one.
Scared of needles, or what?
I just the experience. I mean, being in the hospital, I had 8
You're done
needles,
with needles
being inside me every 2 hours. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of like, I don't like needles.
Obviously, you're busy all the time doing all types of different things with music. So what do you do on your spare time?
Well, I do music full time now. So thankfully, I have the opportunity to do that. And I also have supportive parents who have been helping me with that along the way. I don't really do much. Music is kind of everything I do. I live, breathe, and eat music. When I wake up in the morning and music.
So when you have your time off, you still dedicate yourself to music?
Yeah, it's always like I said, because my family comes from, they're all musicians. It's kind of.
That's what you know.
That's all we know. You know what I mean? We're always singing, doing something. Even if it's in the shower. You know what I mean? There's always something going on with the music. I mean, I like fishing and camping, and I play paintball. I like going to the shooting range, but I mean, other than that, my life is heavily.
Shooting range, watch out! Don't mess with Macic Girl. Now, if you could work with any artist, dead or alive, who would it be?
Sugar Free.
Just like that.
Yes, it'd be Sugar Free. I've loved him since I don't know how long ago. I'd be in school, and people would be like, "I remember that song. It came out like years ago, How do you know that music?" Well, my cousins and stuff, my older cousins influenced me to that music, and I always fell in love with Sugar Free with all that. His flow is just definitely.
So people
different.
trip out because that's not from your era.
Exactly, and I probably know those songs better than anybody from that era. So, but yeah, I would definitely be Sugar Free.
Why Sugar Free? The way he raps, or his style, or?
I'm a fan. You know what I mean? So and I'm a complete fan of his creativity on his records. Like, it's just, it's nice. It's like, I don't know. He has a PhD in rap. Like, what more do you want? Like, there's no topping that. And like, it's
Sugar Free. If you get a hold of this, holler at your girl. You cool with Capone? Come on.
Yeah, even if it's for an autograph. Like, no. On a serious note, though, his creativity is completely awesome, because it's like when you turn that track on, you know who it is. You know what I mean? It's kind of like with Missy. Like, you turn that song on, you know who it is.
No mistaking that sound.
Yeah, and then when it's the Brat, it's the Brat. When it's Snoop, you know it's Snoop. You know what I mean? And those are the kind of artists that I like. that are very attractive to me, and sugar-free just happens to be my favorite. So.
So if people want to get a hold of you, what's your social media?
Well, I have Instagram, which is the most active, is at the Real Macic Girl.
So there's like a few different accounts. So which ones are the real deal?
I have at the Real Macic Girl. We also have a magazine that we're putting out. It's called Lowrider Life Magazine. Also, Macic Girl Clothing and Official Macic Girl and Macic Girl High Power. There's about 4 or 5 different pages that we have, but my official direct account is at the Real Macic Girl.
And besides that, are you on Facebook, YouTube?
Yeah,
you have a YouTube channel?
You can find me on Facebook. I just built a new fan page that's called Macic Girl. Or if not, you can go to the old Miss Lady Macic one, and it'll direct you to my new fan page on Facebook. For YouTube, the same as well. You type in Miss Lady Macic or Macic Girl, it'll direct you to either or. So I kind of made it easier for the transition to kind of make it easier to find the pages.
Yeah. Since we're here at the Bombay Dab Lounge, do you want to give them a little plug? Some of the stuff that they sell?
So the Bombay Dab Lounge is actually located here in Bakersfield, California, and they're actually a proud sponsor of my music and what I do. So I mean, I'm always hanging out here. They've been very cool, and we have a few products here. This right here is called Empress. This is a cannabis shampoo and conditioner that the homegirl Lee actually makes herself. And this works actually very well. I've used it myself, and it's a very awesome product. It's cosmetologist approved, and it works really well. It leaves your hair like super, super soft. So if you guys want to look into it, or maybe find out how you guys can get some, you guys can always go to Empress_hair on Instagram. Hit up, the homegirl Lee, or hit me up. We also got those t-shirts that will be up on my website pretty soon. So if you buy them from me, they'll be signed. If you get them from the shop, they'll be signed. So you can definitely choose from that. And and if you guys want to come by and say hi, come and do it. I definitely recommend it, so you can come say hi to everybody.
So before we go, do you have any shout outs to anyone?
Yeah, actually I do. I have a very special shout out to Danny P. For those of you in the 661 area, he's Danny P in the morning. He's the DJ here for the Groove 99.3. Him, Alex G, Leilani, they have all been super wonderful people and are part of the reason why I'm actually doing what I'm doing and why I'm here today. And I just want to give a huge shout out to them and big hugs to you guys and a very special thank you. I also want to give a huge shout out to the Ronald McDonald House. Thank you for all the support. And I'm very excited to do all of the future plans that we have and stuff like that. And I'm also going to talk about that before we leave just a little bit. But other than that, I think, to all of my fans, thank you guys. You guys are the reason why I'm still doing this.
Well, some people might not know about you is that you do a lot of charity work as well, right?
Yes.
And for who do you usually do it for?
Well, I do charity, anything that has to do with nonprofit or charity events. I actually like to do. I've done actually a lot of benefit fundraisers, car shows, and stuff like that to kind of help the cause. I've always liked helping the cause. But one big organization that I've had contact with recently is the Ronald McDonald House. And like I was explaining to you earlier, I have a very great appreciation for the Ronald McDonald House. And on behalf of my family and myself, thank you very much for being that help when we need it the most. For those of you who don't know what the Ronald McDonald House is, part of what they do is providing a place to sleep, some food to eat to the families of those kids who are in the hospital suffering from cancer or any type, of disease or sickness that the kids might have. They provide that help to the families they're in need. And unfortunately, I lost my sister to leukemia 14 years ago this month. And at that time, the cancer took her in a month. But throughout that time, it was very difficult for my family to financially stay together because, medical bills piled up. Regular bills piled up, and then we were still small, so we still had a lot of expenses. And the fact that she was over there in San Diego, Madera area, made it even harder to have that money to travel every week or every day, and the whole month she was there. The Ronald McDonald House gave my parents a place to eat, a place to sleep, and a place to be comfortable and know that, okay, I'm going to wake up and see my daughter tomorrow morning. And that's really what
without having to worry about all
without having to worry
the other
about
stuff.
anything. And it's something very beautiful. And like I was telling you earlier as well, is that a lot of people don't really, it's not that they don't really care too much, they just don't pay too much mind because they've never had that personal experience like I have with certain organizations such as the Ronald McDonald House.
So because they hit home to you, you wanted to give back.
Yeah, exactly. And I actually ran into a representative about a few months ago, and I remember when we started speaking, we both broke down in tears about the situation. And then I ran into another representative, a few weeks later, and I explained them my situation. And every time, just being able to speak my heart out like that, I just broke down in tears and told them what I was doing and why I wanted to do it. And it was like perfect timing. She said, we're doing this and that. We want to get, I don't want to release too many details yet, but we're doing these certain events and stuff, and we would definitely love you to be involved. And then we finally got an agreement where I'm actually going to go down and do shows for the kids. And that's one of the reasons why I like to keep my my shows friendly to all audiences, because that gives me the golden shoes to walk through that door. You know what I mean? And
So
to
that
be a
you
part
are
of
able to perform anywhere.
so that I am able to perform anywhere. And, like I said, for example, with these kids in specific, is to also be part of those events and stuff like that, be able to go down on Christmas and do shows for them and give them a smile, while it's hard. So it's,
Here in Bakersfield, California, I want to thank you again.
yeah.
And I wish you much success in everything you do. Like I told you, you're a legend in the making, and it's
Thank
just
you.
a matter of time until you get even bigger.
Thank you.
Okay.
Cool.
All right, we're out of here. Peace.